Good morning. Today is the 14th of February. Suku lolukhulu ke kulaba Tanzania kodwa iTanzania lo muhla kutabe kuthengelana nje timbali ilungelele ngisakwemukela nje ehlelweni ngikuvusela engabe timbali takho sawuvele utitholile.
Timbali tani Dlami. It's just a normal day. The 14th of February, it's a Wednesday, Islam 17, so but labanye batabe bawathola ama gifts namuhla they'll be spreading love, they'll be wearing red and white. So
Chocolate.
yeah, it's not only for lovers but relatives, friends. It's not only for lovers. So yeah, you can buy a Valentine's gift for your colleague, your friend, your cousin. Yeah, it's not only for your partner.
Ngathi kusikwethu iTanzania ngibone amadvozi etole edolobheni akhukhutela ngama-paper bag athenga timbali vele alungiselela lona losuku lolukhulu lamhla. Lonyaka sitabe kuhle impela nje kubona abantu abaTanzania bathengelana letipoleti ke baniketana lo muhla. Ngathi ke eminye imisebenzi ikhokhe emaletha ekuthenini nje leminye iminyaka besibona emi-17 kufika imoto deliver timbali akusasebenze kusengcunzana netimbali nema-chocolate. Ngathi ke letinye indzawo lekusetshenziswa khona tikuvalile lokho sethembe ukuthi nathi akusiko lesitakubona lana ngoba kuyasenjetshwa sifuna wathi indzaba lapha ekhaya kodwa nje it is a beautiful day siyanemukela ehlelweni nalo muhla sida ukukhulumisa ke indzaba letimcwa kakhulu kubuka nje ama non-communicable diseases country disease outlook by the World Health Organization iphumeke ngeminyaka lophelile nga-August 2023 ivethe indzaba lenkhulu ekuthenini livela kangwane line high burden of communicable and non-communicable diseases lewatiwa ke ngama-NCDs with the latter making up to 46% of deaths ngeminyaka wa 2019 so ke livela kangwane has had 199,947 people receiving antiretroviral therapy in 2021 and has made strong progress towards achieving the 95-95-95 goals for HIV, reaching 93, 98, 98 in 2021. Swake livela kangwane has not yet met the 90% target coverage rates for vaccination kubanvana, reaching only 77% with the third dose of DTP containing vaccine and 80% with the first dose of measles containing vaccine in 2021. So okay, naba recommend baka World Health Organization livela kangwane should consider implementing catch-up strategies for vaccination. We'll talk to Dr. Nxumalo from Lina Mandla Medical Center regarding non-communicable diseases. Since umnyaka wa 2022, as World Health Organization has said, we have made so much progress, but yet there's so much work to be done. Programs just looking at preventative measures that we can take to prevent NCDs ekuthenini anze lapha eveni.
Yeah, kanti ke saphinze sikhulumisane nama-ke Joyce Gama losuka enhlanganweni eLuthango la Kwangane because in just 2 days Luthango Regiment will be heading to Buhleni for royal residence for the highly anticipated first session of the 2024 Bukano ceremony. The Bukano ceremony is set to showcase the rich heritage and traditions of our beloved Eswatini. Tabeke Luthango lohamba ngalesihlanu ekseni liyoba ingcenye yalomkhosi lomkhulukade even safuna nje naye maka Joyce kuva nje the significant walomsebenzi lona ukuthi ivele kusuke kwendiwane kusukela nalifika lithango ngalesihlanu kwendiwane ngemgcibelo kanjalo nangelisonto ukuthi ubale yanganani lomkhosi lona kiwe emakhosi kanye nelive leSwatini sabe sinaye namuhla nga 6:30
lungelele ngichaza ukuthi sinza indzaba ukuthi significance now sinza indzaba ebugana uceremony kulenyaka ke ya February sathi lokho thina sinemaswati lokho
Valentine
kwebelungu lokho asikwade thina sibuka ebugana kodwa nje kutaba mnanzi kakhulu kuva maka Joyce ukuthi usifundisa uthini ngebugana uceremony lomuhla nalabo ke labaTanzania kwabatha ukuchubeka ngaloko kwabo ke sibuke tihloko lethamba embili amaphephandaba enelive.
sibuke na Times of Eswatini sibuka leti hamba embili. Barnabas anti-corruption task team was a sham ngekusho kwa XPS. He alleges it was used to target late XPM's enemies and doubts new task team will succeed. claims government spent a lot of money on operations of previous task team, but no results. Says no one wants to see ACC working as big fish involved in corruption. Radio legends hit the airwaves Itolo Mbabane on a radio day. Kulenye Hambaimbili highlights of Prime Minister's first 100 days in office. Kuletinye drugs case, judge recuses himself for his family's safety, and 8-bet granted trading license, e-bet banned.
Interesting developments there. Kudemidlalo Times of Eswatini. Namuhla kungolesithathu following petition by political formation Galaxy Way options on Kudu's attack. Green Mamba right to Botswana Premiership outfit to clear air. And another one, Manzini Wanderers was worsen as they are reportedly not attending training this week due to ongoing financial difficulties within the team. Another leading story, Buffs out of CAF Confed Cup race. It is a 3-horse race for the Total Energies CAF Confederation Cup lone slot for Eswatini. Bonuses for Villas for Ivorians. Another story there. Times of Eswatini.
All right, so move on to the Eswatini Daily News. We blew it. 42,000 amalangeni goes missing in Referee Association's account. Kulenyela Hambaimbili fake scholarships indicate targeting EMCU students. More on page 2. Ganti Lenyela Hambaimbili, my suspension was unlawful too. Ngosho status capital MD Mbete.
Temidlalo Eswatini Daily News this Wednesday morning. The Eswatini Sport and Recreation Council has contributed the biggest share in this 1.7 million Malangani budget for the 21-member delegation to represent the country in the 2024 Africa Games in Accra, Ghana from March 8 to March 23, 2024. Government pumps in over 1 million Malangeni for Africa Games. Teams cry foul over soaring match day costs is another leading story. The earnings in Africa, Bafana players to pocket 1 million rands each. Wow. Ya ngileto ke tindzaba lethamba embili kumaphephandzaba lomhla ekuseni sitobahlola imakethe sibuye sibuke indzaba tesiswati lapha ekhaya.
Be sure to catch Business Watch every Wednesday between 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. where we feature the latest updates on business news, market trends, and exclusive interviews with industry leaders, as well as insights on emerging small and medium enterprises in the commercial sector. Business Watch, your business leader.
Ujala masada mahle kunathi lesa.
Sabatandi ukuthi njengalokhu
Sivile sive sikhulume.
Ngwana muhle asiphindze ke sikwamukele lihlelweni sibuke nathi itindzaba tesiswati. Indvuna yelitikole tasekhaya umhlonishwa umfana Nkosi Lindiwe ithi iyachubeka nekukhulumisana nendvuna yetasekhaya even leNingizimu Afrika ngokuthi ke ligedela kalavumisa lingasavalwa njengoba lokhu kutawuba nemthelela lomuhle ebhizinisini kulamave lamabili. Indvuna beyikhuluma ngesikhathi libhangela kamhlaba iWorld Bank liye kuyawubuka kusebenta kwalamave lamabili egedeni laseNgwenya. Kanti ke lobuke kusebenta kwemaheke kulela live Mike Masiapato uthi batayisebenta lenzaba.
I also want to thank the Border Management Authority and SARS and everyone who contributed to the opening of the 24-hour border operation here in Oshuk. Great achievement for the country, a great achievement for business for both countries, because this is profiting both Eswatini and South Africa. Everyone is happy. I'm sure now revenue has hiked up for both countries. And now that you are done with the 24-hour operation in Oshuk, now our cry is 24-hour operation in Lavomesa. Can we make it happen? Because when business comes in this side, they are stuck. They can't flow to the Natal side. So that frustrates business and also frustrates the tour operators, tourism. They're stuck here, they can't move. Sometimes they divert and go to Mozambique. Even if they want to go to Natal, they divert and go to Mozambique.
Umphathi welihhovisi lakamhlaba kuleli George Washira uthi mhlabuhlangene utawubambisa hulumende asasebenza imisebenzi yentuthuko yelive kanye-ke naleyo lecondzene nekuphumelelisa emagoli yakamhlaba yentuthuko lakhonsako ama-Sustainable Development Goals. Kanti-ke Washira bekakhuluma ngesikhathi yabonga aphinza adumisa inkulumo yengwenyama yekuvulwa kwephalamende.
Embikweni lethunyelwe betindzaba umphathi welihhovisi lakamhlaba kuleli George Washira udumise wabonga inkulumo yesilo yekuvulwa kwesigaba sekucala sephalamende el-12. Washira uthi ingwenyama ngalesihlanu itsinze tingonde tahlukene ticondzene ngco nekutfutfukisa tinhlangosi letahlukene temnotfo welive. Uthi kubakhuthatile bangumhlabuhlangene kuva ingwenyama ikhombisa intshisekelo yokubona umnotfo welive laseswatini uthuthuka. Uthi ingwenyama ichubeke yaqinisekisa ukuthi ibophelela kwelive laseswatini etindzabeni tekufeza emagola kamhlaba entuthuko lekhonsako eminyaka wa-2030. Uthi leli hhovisi nalo litibophelele kubambisa live kufeza lamagoli ngekubambisa hulumende asebentele kuthuthukisa impilo yemaswati njengokuthunywa ngiso silo naso sive semaswati esibayeni. Uthi leli hhovisi litachubeka futhi lesekele hulumende asesebenta imigomo elihlaka leminyaka lesihlanu lwentuthuko lekhonsako lakho emhlabuhlangene. Etindzabeni Eswatini TV kubika Samkelisiwe Khoza ngisembabane.
Litiko letemfundvo liyachubeka nekumikisa kudla etikolweni ngaphansi kweluhlelo lwakazondle. Anzike losabambe kuba ngumcondzisi wetemfundvo Lungelo Nhlengetwa uthi kutawukuthi-ke nakuphela inyanga lesetulu tonke tikolwa letikhona lapha eveni titawube setikwemukela kudla.
Litiko letemfundvo liyachubeka nekumikisa kudla etikolweni kutsi nakuvulwa tikolwa tivulelwa mnyaka lesetulu litiko lekumikisa kudla etikolweni nanoma-ke kungesito tonke letakutfola. Losabambe kuba ngumcondzisi etiko letemfundvo Lungelo Nhlengetwa uthi masinyane nje kudla kutawube kumikisiwe etikolweni.
Nyalo sinaka close to half of the schools esideliver kudla sibheke ukuthi makuphela February sibe sesicedzile according to information esiyitfolile kulo supplier walelo sideliver kudla. Lokhu ngathi khamba kancane lamabhontshisi ngiwo la ngasi ayatefa but sesiwatfolile sesidakhwala kwafuqa etikolweni. Yes, le nombolo ya both primary and high schools, yes.
Nhlengetwa uthi uselihlelweni lwabo ukuthi tonke tikolwa timikiselwe tikuthole kudla bantfwana bangalambi ngekuconza ukuthi kunalabacala kudla esikolweni baphindze bagcine khona ngesimo sebusweti emakhaya. Etindzabeni kubeka Giyan Msibi nginaSamkelisiwe Khoza sikaManzini.
Inkampani yaseNingizimu Afrika iCredif sethule sakhiwo lebesilungiswa kabusha salapho kukalwa khona emanti la emaveni abomakhelwane iMananga Gauging Station emfuleni iNkomati. Mapalane lomncane etiko letemcebo waphansi nemandla Kusile mabuza uthi lokulungiswa kabusha kwalesakhiwo kutawuqinisekisa ukuthi emanti la emaveni abomakhelwane alinani lelifanele.
Ngenhloso yekuthi live lingatikhanzi selikhipha emanti la emaveni abomakhelwane ngelinani lelingasilo, inkampani yakaCredif yelive laseNingizimu Afrika ngekusitwa watinini telive letifaka ekhatsi live lase-United Kingdom selakhe kabusha sakhiwo lesikala emanti emfuleni waseNkomati. Njinela lumkhulu enkampanini yakaCredif uthi lesakhiwo sakhiwe ngendlela yekuthi sitokhona kumelana nekugucugucuka kwesimo selitulu.
Facility that was at Mananga and found that that gauging facility was giving inaccurate or incorrect information because it was not measuring the full volume of water that was passing through it. And it was also not really providing very accurate readings. then the decision was made by the two governments of Eswatini and South Africa through COBRA to seek funding to support the rehabilitation, reconstruction, or improvement of the existing gauging station then. That's when they approached us as CREDIF for financial support to do that work.
Emukela lesakhiwo mapalanelo omncane etikolo temcebo phansi nemandla kaPsile Mabuza ubeke kanjena.
Setho yekusetshenziswa kwemanti emavela sherisha emanti kufuna ukuthi kube nekubambisana lababa nako lokufanele ukuthi ngilelo nalo lelive likhona ukuthi lingawathola lamanti kungabi nesimo lesi njengekuthi lenye live selitawuthola amanti lamaningi kunalelinye.
Argenton Tobe John sihlalo webhodi yenkampani yakaKhobwa. Inkampani yakaKhobwa lebuke kusebenziswa kwemanti nekubambisana emkhathini welive leSwatini nelase South Africa. Iphindze ibukete netidzingo telive leMozambique. Uthi-ke lesento lesi siqinisekisa budlelwane lobuhle emaveni abomakhelwane njengoba sitawuqinisa kusebenzisana lokuhle emkhathini walamave. Umbiko uhlanganiswe ngithembelihle Magutshwa eMhlume.
Litiko letemfundvo lithi kude tishelanhloko lekubhekeke ukuthi acoshe umfundzi ngenxa yokuthi akabhadali imali yesikolo. Kanti ke litiko lihlanganisa abothishelanhloko ngaphansi kwesifundza sakaManzini kuyawubafundzisa ngalokubhekekile ekuthenini ke basaphetha tona tikolwa.
Litiko letemfundo likhumbute bothishelanhloko ngekutiphatsa kwabo basaphethe tikolwa. Lokunyeke labakhumbutwe kuwo kubotishela kulova baye ngazo etikolweni lokungaholele ekutheni baxoshwe. Losabamba kuba ngumcondzisi wetemfundo longelonhlengethwa uyenaba ngalomhlangano.
Nje ipolicy lebe kunyona ngathi igijima embili ngile top up. Kule top up sikhuluma indzawo yokuthi uma ngabe isikole sidinga ukucharge top up kufuna ukuthi bathole imvume kuminister kunduna yetemfundo. Lo mntwana ke lona lo oversee lo imali yena simenda njani ngoba phela litiko lithi akangabe sesoya disadvantage lo mntwana loyo. Umntwana lo oversee wahulumende ubhadelwa nguhulumende angeke bese yona thishela mkhulu uyamcosha usakaye ekhaya. Angeke bese thishela mkhulu sothi kulomntali akafake ideposit asengithi ya 7,000 kanti umuntu awubhadala 1,550. So sithi ke kubothishela abakhulu abamngeniza umntwana afunze.
Kanti ke nabo ke bothishelanhloko bathandze ukucaciseleka kuletinye tetinto betikhulunyiswa.
Ngicabanga ukuthi i-education ifanele i-encourage ukubotishela abafunze because labo botishela labafunzile la sikolweni even up to PhD lesikolo siba enriched because kunebantu labahleli phansi benema research on kufunza kwebantwana manje nangabe education itawuthi sineskolela nje C3 isho ukuthi yona ayipromote.
I have a very much concern kakhulu ekuthomela kwakaGrace batalise bafe kusigaba angathi noma bagakamile bathatha certificate yakaGrade 0 labantwana bahlala bona emakhaya abafuni kubhadala le imali yaGrade 0 yekuthi kufundziseke. So as a result bahamba bayotela le certificate labantwana.
So there is some teacher contacts.
Donke ke tikolo kufaka ikhasi naletitimele ema-private schools nanato tibhekeke ukuthi tilandzele umtsetfo welitiko letemfundo njengoba tiphethwe khona. Etindzabeni kubika Giyani Msebiti Thombe nguSamukelisiwe Khoza sisemfanyana hall kaManzini.
Umcondzisi wemsakato wemoya Sabelo Dlamini uthi batimisele kuthuthukisa indlela labasakata ngayo kulesive sitawutfola lwati lolungilo nangesikhathi ke info letawufaka sandla ekuthuthukiseni live. Dlamini bekakhulumisana nebemsakato ngesikhathi lomsakato ukubha lusuku lwakamhlaba i-International Radio Day.
No umphefumulo sophilile bandla sophilile umphefumulo lomhlanje nekuseni inkonzo
Umsakato wemoya udlala indima lenkulu ekufundziseni kanye nasekuniketeni sive lwati etinhlangothini letiningi. Kungako-ke live laseswatini lakubona kumcoka kuba yingxenye yemave emhlaba ekugubheni lusuku lwemsakato wemoya ngeminyaka wa-2012. Lo nyaka umsakato ulandze tinkhabi letindzala lebetisebenta kuwo lo msakato tatfola lithuba lekuba setinsanjeni. Thulani Fakudze welibandla lelengamele tekuchumana kuleli uthi kumcoka kutsi basakati bashiyelane lugwayi.
Vele kufuna tintfo letikhulunywako noma letivelako emsakatweni kube tintfo letinebuciniso netintfo letakhako because of understanding yakutsi bumcoka be-radio in most communities bunganani. Siyethemba lokuthi lonla niwufakile lo moya, hayi ngekukhuluma ngekwenda nje lokuthi laba lesebakhona labangena emva kwene station ukuthi babone ukuthi vele indlela lengiyo yekuchuba lo msebenzi nguyiphi.
Umcondzisi wemsakato wemoya Sabelo Dlamini uthi batimisele ukuthuthukisa indlela labasakata ngayo.
Naloku sesiphile esikhatsini lana there are many competing new media platforms, but nesingumsakato sitimisele ukuthi sichubeke sisale singilo msakato lo credible, lot truthful, not necessarily the first to the news, but the first to truthful and credible news and information and education and entertainment. Kumcwa kakhulu ukuthi le ndlela lenayakha lenayivula sihambe kuyo with integrity nathi singanoneli.
Umchumanisi wenhlangano yakamhlaba kuleli Sibusiso Mgadi uthi umsakato wemoya ungafaka sandla lesibandi ekuhambiseni lwati mayelana nemigomo yakamhlaba lekhonsako.
The emphasis director will recognize lobumcoka be-radio. Despite all the things that we are calling modernization, technology, and all of that, radio has stood the test of time.
With Babyface, the track keeps falling. You should check out the video. It's quite cute because it features a comedian.
Inhlangano yaka-UNESCO ithi balinganiselwa etigidini letine bantfu labalalela umsakato wemoya emhlabeni. Kubika Phokuhle Dlamini etindzabeni te-Eswatini TV nginasimuva Shongwe eMbabane.
Tiko letemfundvo selicalela uhlelo lolusha lwekubutsa imininingwane yetikolo ngetindlela tebuchwepheshe. Kanti lokhu kuvetwe ngilobukete imininingwane ebandleni letelibalo lwetemfundvo i-Education Management Information Systems Unit EMIS mfana ukhona Nkambule emhlanganweni wekucecesha abothishela ngalolu hlelo lolusha.
Lomunye umgomo welitiko letemfundo ukuqinisekisa ukuthi itemfundo lapha even laseSwatini tibangileto letikhonsile wonke umfana weliswati uyafinyelela kuyo imfundo lesimeme. Litiko letemfundo ke ngalo liphiko lelibuke kukoleka umniningwane noma yetelibalo la etiko letemfundo leyatiwa nge-Education Management Information Systems Unit EMIS lihlangane la ehotela lase George Kamanzini licecesha bona bothishela betikole etahlukene ngaphansi kwesifundza saselibonjeni ngayo indlela lensha lesebenzisa dona tindlela tebuchwepheshe kukoleka imininingwane yato tikolwa. Lobuketa bongcondvo mshina netekwatisa ka MS mfana khona Nkambule uthi le ndlela lena lensha ekukoleka yona imininingwane yetemfundo etikolweni tawusita kakhulu kuvala etikhebesi letikhona kuye kukoleka imininingwane yetemfundo etikolweni.
Kunale system lesi developile nyalo le web based lokusho ukuthi le system itawuba real time like bothishela batawu captureisha idata yabo etikolweni ivele ifike lakithi ngaleso sikhathi. Kanzi all along bese solo sisebenzisa lenye isystem le standalone lokusho ukuthi bese senda questionnaires etikolweni basigcwabisele nase basigcwabisele ke bese ke thina sesiyabuya phinde siyayithatha le data siyicaptureisha into the system lebe kukhanzakala ukuthi kuthatha isikhathi ekureporteni kwethu. So ngiko ke sesisabe sesingena kule web based system letasi reportela in real time.
Letikolwana labothishela labangenele umhlangano kubheka ukuthi baniketwe emathulusi ekukweleka lemininingwane kanti evikini letako kubheka ukuthi kuceceshwe dona tikolo letingaphansi kwesifundza sakawowo. Edindzabeni Eswatini TV kubika Samkelisiwe Khoza naKiyani Msibi kaManzini.
Kute titfutfuke tiphindze tikhonse temphilo litiko letemphilo lidzinga kubanjiswa tikhwama letahlukene takamhlaba kwakhiwe ke imigomo yekulandzelela tonkhe tinhlelo tetemphilo loku kuvetwe ngilobukela ihhovisi lelibuke umsebenti welusito lwetimali loluchamuka esikhwameni saka-Global Fund i-Country Coordinating Mechanism CCM Dr. Advocate Dlamini.
Kahle kahle vele nalokusebenta kwethu CCM ngekusekelwa Global Fund kwakuthi asakho indlela lensha yekwesekela live sibuka live ukuthi lisebenza kanjani ngako ngikhuluma nge-National Health Sector Strategic Plan selitiko letemphilo sa-2019 to 2023 sithi vele ayibe khona indlela yokuthi kutholakale imali etitawusetshenziswa live kwesekeleka. So umbuto wakho lo sithi nesi-CCM sitawusebenza njani kulula indlela ekusebenza kwethu kwakuthi kusetshenziswane netiko letemphilo nalo tiko letemphilo lihleleke ngendlela yokuthi into nje icala lesibuka ukuthi mhlambe ingenteka isisebentele ibe yinhle ngokuthi khona lapha etiko letemphilo sithole kwesekeleka ngendlela yokuthi kube nalabo sibita ngokuthi is a coordinating unit for a grant noma is a grant coordinating unit noma kube la kubuka khona ukuthi emadona mangakho lesinawo eveni kutobonakala ukuthi bani wentani kuphi wenta njani sitawubalekela ngokuthi kulahleke indlela yokusebenza lengasiyo lebonakalayo hayi ukuthi isebentele ehlathini sikubita ngesingisi sithi reputation of effort or noma duplication of effort kutoba clear ngoba lokho uma kwenteke ngendlela uyawukhanza ukuthi kulula nekubona ukuthi sekunesikhala kito donatini intenkosi the donors the partners yini lengatholakala lengesekela kulesimo noma kuleyo ndlela lokho bengente kalula ukuthi kuhlalwe phasi kubuke imgubudla etiko letemphilo ukuthi itsini yona ivuma kuphi ukuthi kusetshenziswane sikusebenza njani bona ukuthi ke nakucelwa nakhulunyiswana nayo kumphakathi wemadonors ukuthi bathi mbona ukhanze ukuthi bayaselula sandla sebaveta lokho labangaveta njengoba sababona na COVID.
Umtsetfo losakhankhanywa i-Companies Draft Bill yeminyaka lophelile utawusita ukuthi kuchuba ibhizinisi kupemelula lapha eveni lokhu kuvetwe ngilobuke kubhaliswa kwetinkampani etiko letemabhizinisi Msebe Malinga.
Lo mthetho lesitawethula kwekucala njena wethula leli hlelo lokubhalisa kwenkampani digital noma ngongcobomshina iphelele yonke lapho utawukhona ukuthi ubhalisa inkampani yakho uchubeke mhlambe inkampani yakho uyi-update ufake nelinye imphepha uhleli ekhaya ungadzingi ukuthi ukuletha ofisini nemaphepha lesitabe siwasebenzisa atabe akhona lapho kungcombomshini kude lesitabe mhlambe sikuprinta ukuthi sekubhaliwe yini ngedandla sephindze sithula kule bill sethula noma inhlobo lensha yenkampani kule kwanyalo sinenhlobo letimbili tenkampani lesibita nge-private company lelenye sibita nge-public company sethula lihlelo noma sithula inkampani lesibita nge-universal company nyalo shothi ingisesitaba nelihlobo lunye lenkampani eSwatini lenkampani itawufanana nje kuwonke umuntu nekusebenta kwayo nekulawulwa kwayo kutawufanana ngoba kutabe sekulihlobo lunye lwenkampani lo mthetho lomusha phinze wethula i-constitution sesiyaphuma kunako lebekwadwa ngekuthema ngama-articles of association lebe kulikhuni nekukulandzelela nekukuconza mhlawumbe nawuthi uyakufunza noma uyakhulumisa emthethweni noma ke wena ibhizinisi sethula ke lihlelo le-constitution lelitabe lungesingisi singisi naso lesilula nje ukuthi noma ngibana khona kufunza alandzelele nekuvala ke inkampani nabe inkampani yemuntu mhlambe ayisasebenzi kahle noma ayisayenda ibhizinisi sesikwenda ukuthi kubelula ukuthi inkampani yakho uyivale imicabo lekhona kule mthetho lo khona kwanyalo mutse futhi uyabida emalini sesizama ukuthi sikwende ukuthi kube lula.
Inkampani leshicilela tincwadzi iMacmillan ibambe umcimbi wekukhutsata abantwana besikolo alabangemantombazane ukuthi bakukhuthalele kwenta tifundvo te-science kanye ke netebuchwephesha. Lo mcimbi ke ubanjwe ngephansi kwesicubulo sakamhlaba lesithi kuvala tikhala letikhona emkhatsini kwebantfu besilisa nebesifazana.
Ngekubona tinombolo letincane tabomake kanye nemantfombatane ehlangotsini lwetesayensi kanye netebuchwephesha, inhlangano yakamhlaba yaphasisa umtsetfo lekutiwa yi-UN General Assembly Resolution 7212 mhla tingemashumi 22 enyangeni yeNgongoni ngemnyaka wa 2015. Lo mtsetfo utsi njalo nati-11 kulesetulu emalunga alenhlangano kumele agcugcutele bomake kanye nemantfombatane kutsi batingenele tifundvo tesayensi. LaseSwatini ke nalo selibe mdzibi munye nemalunga akamhlaba ekukhutsateni emantfombatane etikolweni.
Sokupha kwesibili ke lo mkhosi eminyakeni lophelile sasibuka itikolo letingasedolobheni sabona ukuthi akusebentele kakhulu ngoba labantwana labete kahle lamathuba ngolabale emakhaya. So silanze abantwana basemakhaya ke from 4 schools. Bantwana laba se high school o form 4 na form 5 labathi inhlonhlolothi kule titaka science. Sitheke asibabuyisa sitobaneta lamathuba lesithi kuba exposure kule titaka science ngoba sebavese bayikhethile science as i-career.
Fanele Chester uchaza ngemathuba lakhona kulolu hlangothi lwetesayensi kanye netebuchwephesha.
Sinawo imifundzate lesinayo lesiniketa abantwana bemaswati labafuna ukuchubeka nemfundo yabo nabacedze form 5. Ngiyajabula ukuthi lo nyaka sina 8 wele leyo lapho khona abantwana bangafunda eJapan, khona la Eswatini, eTanzania, Germany, Netherlands nalamanye emave batokhona kutfola international baccalaureate. Letaba certificate lesibavumela ukuthi bafunde ngoma nganguphi la emhlabeni.
Iyavakala ke indzaba yekuthi kwangathi bafundzi etikolweni letisemaphandleni bayadzinga kulandzelelwa kuletindzaba.
Besi too much unaware of tintfo lesingadenda as ladies and nale support system bekuba bete much for the ladies ukuthi bangathola ukuthi these are the procedures, these are the steps to take towards ku-achieve ama-dreams lafana nalokho.
Kanzi ke balinganiselwa ku-33.3% bomake labasehlangothini lwetesayensi kanye netebuchwephesha emhlabeni. Kubika pho kuhle Dlamini etindzabeni te-Eswatini TV nginasimuva Shongwe kumathapha.
Kutemidlalo sewucalile umsebenzi wekwakha likhetselo lesive lemidlalo wehockey lebafana kanye nelemantfombatane langephansi kweminyaka le-14. Kanzi ke lamakhetselo saqalile kutilungiselela njengoba yabhekeke ukuthi yangenele umqhudelwano wesifundza sakaSADC lotawubanjelwa eveni leNingizimu Afrika enyangeni yamabasa eminyakeni losetulu. Kanzi ke kulenye indzaba inhlangano yemidlalo yema-Olympics kanye naleyo yema-Commonwealth seyimemetele badlali labalishumi nabatawumelela live emidlalweni yema-All Africa Games eveni laseGhana kule nyanga letako kusukela mhla tisiphohlongo kuya mhla tingamashumi 23. Labadlali bachamuka etinhlanganweni letifaka ekhatsi emadubane tekubhukusha i-taekwondo kanye nenhlangano yemidlalo we-karate. Live ke kulibite imali lengu-1.7 million emalangeni kulungiselela letingijimi tiphindze ke timikiswe khona eveni laseGhana. Sitephetsa lapho tindzaba tesiswati sitawubahlola etimakethe nasibuya sikhulumisa bugano ceremony.
Renewal of TV licenses for 2024 is now open. Here is a quick reminder. A viewer's TV license costs 180 emalangeni per device. Other accessories such as decoders and set-top box cost 50 emalangeni per device. For traders and repairers, TV license costs 300 emalangeni per business area. And now, to pay your TV license, use these following methods. You can use MTN Mobile Money with the number 76222000 or dial *007 *3 *7#. Or you can use Eswatini Imali. And And you can pay our TV license at any post office in the country. Another option is you can use any Nedbank branch using our TV license account number 1199004337. Don't forget, when paying for your viewers TV license, reference with your PIN at all times. And when paying for a retailer TV license, reference with your TIN at all times. For more information, call us on 7802-4543 or 34050163 or 34020879. And you can send us a WhatsApp message on 762222000.
Be sure to catch Business Watch every Wednesday between 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., where we feature the latest updates on business news, market trends, and exclusive interviews with industry leaders, as well as insights on emerging small and medium enterprises in the commercial sector. Business Watch, your business leader.
In just 2 days, Luthango will be heading to Buhleni Royal Residence for the highly anticipated first session of the 2024 Bukanu ceremony. The Bukanu ceremony is set to showcase the rich heritage and traditions of our beloved Eswatini. Umsebenzi omkhulu kade lapha eveni ke lona lapho khona kubhekile ukuthi amakhosi abe khona kulo msebenzi kanye nesive samaswati kakhulu kade nje Luthango. I'm joined by chairperson wayo inhlangano Luthango lwakangwane make Joyce Gama ukukhuluma ngabantu njengoba umcoka bawo lo msebenzi lomkhulu nakangaka sekuvusela make Joyce. Yes secretary uxolisa lapho sifuna kuva nje make Joyce ukuthi umsebenzi uyaqala ngalesihlanu utawuthatha nje impela somvo yonke. I think nje kusikhumbuta nje bumcoka balomsebenzi nebuhle bawo umsebenzi.
Ngivusele kumbukeli ekhaya ngibonge ukuthi nami isithwalele lithuba silithango ukuthi la umsebenzi njengoba sevele inkosi Mswati wesithathu sevele iudeclareile imemedile ngeligama lendvuna ebuhleni nje indvuna yesigolo kusho ukuthi vele sesibhekile ukuthi Luthango lonke emabombo abhekise khona njengoba Luthango vele seluqalile lokho ukuthi selwendile lokudla ngoba phela sikubita ngekudla ngoba labanye bebese bakha nje amagama lamanengi kanti phela kulisiko lisiko nathi lesilikhanzile lisiko lemaswati lesingakusho nje ukuthi uma kucala lo msebenzi kuba naloko ukuthi basuka etinkhundleni njengoba sathi phela ukuthi silive vele lelibusa ngetinkhundla bomake basuka etinkhundleni etikhulwini lapho bomake siye sicelwe ukuthi basuke bayaliwe tikhulu tiyelekelela ngoba tikhulu tilekelela kubuswa kwelive tilekelela inkosi Mswati wesithathu. So baphuma le etikhulwini bayalwe kunetindvuna ke teLuthango letindvuna ke njoba kusuka etulu kucala patron ke sithi ngumhlekazi indlovukazi make wesive bese kuta ke lo bandla kancane lelibandla ke liye libe nendvuna yeLuthango ngenhlanhla lembi ke indvuna iyasihambela bese kuba ke ngileli bandla lo bandla kancane bese kuyehla kuya kuma regional coordinators lesabona thina ukuthi kuhle siLuthango sihleleke sibe nalaba labatawu uhlanganisa letifundza uma kukhona imisebenzi lemikhulu bese sekuba netindvuna tetinkhundla lo 59 constituencies bese kuba netindvuna temiphakathi teLuthango lemiphakathi yonke le 300 and something bese kuthi sekuba 30 gods lokusho ukuthi ilula lento kusebenteka njengoba siyagcizelela kulolu thango kuthi njengoba inkosi eyimemetile bekunene siya kulomkhosi lomkhulu kangaka lapho uthola khona ukuthi lithango luyanyathelana lunengi kakhulu sigcizelela ke inhlonipho ngoba abantu nababanyenti kulula nje kwendeka kwetinto kanti nabasuke bayaliwe bahloniphe netindvuna tawo sicela ke nekuthi letindvuna telithango tisinciphisele umsebenzi wokuthi luthango maselule indvuna nayikhuda kufuna ukuthi luthango lulalele indvuna nayikhipha umthetho ukuthi nyalo senda lokho luthango lulalele njenganyalo nje sinalo ukuthi indvuna iyamemeta nyalo yesigodlo ukuthi lutawuthathwa nini luthango alute ngaletikhathi letibekiwe loluthango kutothi naletimoto lamabhasi latawuthatha lothango ahambe ngesikhathi lungafiki luthango sekuhalele uyithole ke ukuthi kuletinye itigaba kuba khona tingcinamba ngoba yonke into bekunene iba nato tingcinamba tayo leti bese tiyaqhamuka nje tingakabhekeki kepha ke sibheke ukuthi kuko konke lokho kube nenhlonipho
mhlambe kujoba nje emake Joyce kuvela ukuthi sitakhumbulelwa ukuthi kwavela ukuthi even labo emakhelwane South Africa ubhethuke mhlambe isifo semshoke cholera na minister simbonile amavikini lambalo lengcile amemetela inyathelo silive lekumele sitithathe in terms of ukuthi sitiphephise kulesifo ngehygiene ukuthi sihlandeke la sikhona khona ingabe vele mhlawumbe nihambe kanganani ukugcizelela indzaba yehygiene khona emkhosini wamagani lonyaka
sekusebendekile umsakati ngoba besingenile nje nayitolo emsakatweni sithinze litiko letempilo libandla libese libona ukuthi alithinze betempilo sithinze litiko letinkhundla sathinza futhi ne matiko lathinzekako nje kokuthi sizame kulwa naleli gciwane lemsheko nekuthi bafundzise lithango kuhloba lokunye lesikwendile sicelile kulo buke tifundza PS wasetinkundleni ukuthi lokhu bale ngoba bahle bahlangana balungiselela lokugibela bese kuyiwale sacela ukuthi akasifunele bonesi labatawubafundzisa le etikhungweni lapho basuka khona babafundise nje ngalokuhloba sithi nasifika le kube vele wonke umuntu sihamba umgubudla munye
ikakhulu kanti labo somabhizinisi nje labo tabe bathengisa khona le
konke lokho bashido baka health basho ukuthi bacela ukuthi tithelo tabo batiwashe kahle babeke nemanti emanti ekuthi umfuna kasithenga sithelo bese siyawashwa ungamane nalabantu sive nje bekunene bagcizelele ukuthi nawuthenga lesithelo masuvele bese uyahlafuna nje uve indlala efuna emanti uwashe lesithelo ukuze sigweme leligciwane le cholera kanti nje vele nekuhloba ikakhulu indzaba ema toilets baphawulile ukuthi umuntu ufuna kangena etoilet akente lokufanele nakangena etoilet angabe sewenda lokungafanele lapho ukuthi nalomunye longangena muva avele afika athi hawu lapha kanti bekwendekani sigcizelela nje luthango bekunene kokuthi luhlobe kangangoba sizamile nekuthi sithumele imilayeto kulamba la letindvuna ukuthi noma baphisa noma balatisa lokudla bente ngemanti lahlobile siyakholwa nje ukuthi konke kuhamba kahle
Koma sesingena nje kulomsebenzi nje wakulempela somva make Joyce lobuhle lokuthini lithango niyafika esigodlweni ngalesihlanu netetfulo 10 usikhulume nje ngalobuhle lobo lobumcoka lokuthi bese nangemgcibelo nangelisonto kuyagidwa ingabe vele mhlambe lokho kusho ukuthini nje kini nelithango
Thine kuyasijabulisa ngoba kusho ukuthi kithi nje ngathi we kind of socialization futhi lokho ukuthi siyabonana kade sagcinana noma sikhuluma ngabo letincingo sekwaba netincingo kecha nje nasesibonana kumnanzi bomake sesishiyelana neligwayi ngoba le culture isijabulisa ngaloko kuthi sibe sesiyahlangana sesisherana ema-ideas nasifika nje lufika lithango ngawuqale ngibuyele emva kancane kokuthi kubalekile ukuthi bete babhalisile ababhalise nabasuka le noma kenyalo bathi akulate kodwa kusengabi late ngoba naku lamhla ngulesithathu babhalise kulatiwe libutho lelisuka kulo mphakathi noma kuleyo ndzawo le ngoba letinye tindzawo tisemadolobheni tinalama leaders akhona nayo si live libuswa ngekuthi lomunye aphathwe ngulomunye kuye kube nenkinga ke uma bangaka-registile labasuka khona uthola ukuthi sekwenteka tintfo lesetenda ukuthi ungazi ukuthi sekuhlazeka luthango nelive kanti tentiwe bantfu labangakasuki esandleni salo loyo lobaphethe ukhanze ukuthi baqhamukele nje noma uyabuta lo muntu awumuva ukuthi isikhulu sakhe ngibani noma ke kumbe edolobheni la phethwe khona ngoba kunema-leaders nabo council uthi ingabe ukuliphi idolobha siyagcizelela ukuthi umfulota kulo mcimbi ngoba lento isita nalapha nasekukhona umuntu losagula awusadi ukuthi lo muntu utawuthi wakuphi so mbuta uwakuphi wena ugula libutho lohamba nalo ngiliphi akaladi uchamukile nje lapho achamuke khona sigcizelela lokho ke nekuthi ke nasifika sesibese sizama ukuthi baqale kwethula nakhona sithathe ke iorder mase kufanele bethule ke balandzelane ngelusiko lwakhona ukuthi ke bethule labanye bethula buganu labanye bethula tithelo labanye bethula tilimo kwehlukahlukene nje ngeluthando lwabo ngileyo naleyo ngileso sicheme
kuma sesiyanje ngasamaphetheleni Market Joyce kuningi lokwentekako kulo mkhosi bosamabhizinisi nani kuba khona tinhlangano bese tiyeta ngemigcibelo titonifundisa mhlambe ngama-topics afaka ekhathi bo-GBV kanye nalabo labathengisa imikhicito labayakha ngawona lamagano ingabe vele mhlambe kusiniketa nje sithomise ukuthi kepha kuba yini letimvo letakhiwa ngawo lamagano lesitati tfola khona lembili
angiqale nje ngalokuthi nasekwethuliwe kuyasake ngakusasa kuyalalwa bese kuyasake sekuba naletifunzo siye siqale ke ngabo 7 ekseni lokwa sendela lokuthi loluthango luthi nase luhamba luyokudla lube selukhona lokutholile noma selicala kuvunula selungiselela kuyawugitha silungisile ke sesivele sicedzile kulungisa ngoba sinelitiko letinkundla njengoba uvile mbukeli ukuthi esibayeni sive sikhalile ukuthi sifisa lokho nalokho nathi sesihlangabeta ke leli phupho lengwenyama nekuthi sihlanganise indzaba yalama millennium goals naloko ukuthi ke kufezeke lokhu ingwenyama lethite inkwe ngabo letinkundla nje litabe lifundzisa ngetikhwama labo RDF sevele sivumelene bakhona sesiyakhile neprogram yabo bese sekuthi kuba nalitiko nalo lemabhizinisi liyelibe khona e-commerce lite litofundisa ngato temabhizinisi bese kuba nendzaba ye-cyber security so cyber crimes ungabeka ngaleyo ndlela nje lobeke ngayo litiko laka ICT nalo silicelile ukuthi ngoba bantu bonke labafuna nje ngathi bafuna kuganga bafuna kuganga ngabomama nemantombazane so sizibuke ukuthi abasifundise ukuthi singagwema kanjani lokuthi kube nalo kutsotseka imali tethu ngaletindzaba te-technology lapha etincingweni sebathetha imali yemuntu shaya itincingo sebathini ngoba vele nabo basemsebentini weganga so bayeta ke umsakato nawo utabe ukhona ukhangisa batabe bende igazibo yabo bakhangisa bakhuluma nangekuthi umsakato usita ngani ipackage yaka ICT bese kuba ke netindzaba tama co-ops kokuthi babo make bonge ngoba inhlupheko batokhona kubhadala tikolwa bese kuba indzaba yokuthi i-environment baka authority environment nabo batabafundisa ngato letindzaba tekuhloba nokuthi umuntu la ahlete khona ahlobe ngoba siyathi abantu ababaningi bese kwentekani kuningi ke ehlelweni lethu lesikulungisile kutabe kufundiswa lapha luthango luye lufundise lesikugcizelelako ngilokuthi luthango lubese luvuka lugijime luye emalayinini bekunene lapho komukelwa khona kuye kube neorder letholakala bese ke luyatiswa ukuthi seningaya kuyolayina lapho kunetipho noma kunekudla khona sigcizelela ukuthi luthango alungakwendi lokuthi bese luvuka ngetingweti bese luyahamba bese naletifundo sekusala labo labambalwa bese bayema le lapho bemakhona balabanye sebagcina baqaleka bayawa bese ungazi ukuthi kukhona umuntu lo wende lendvo bekunene kude lo wenda lendvo luthango ufuna lulalele sihloniphane luthole iorder nasekufanele ukuthi liyobamba emalayini lapho liyokudla khona lungavili bese luyadumelisa nje lisuka labanye uvele sebasuka ngabo 2 ngabo 3 sebahambile sebayolayina bese sekundeka stampede sebayalimala sekungazuthi kukhona umuntu lo balimatile kanzi bekunene luthango alalele tindvuna talo siyagcizelela etindvuneni kokuthi tindvuna atitshele luthango kokuthi etihlalele iorder hayi kokuthi luthango lwende isinoma kanjani ngoba kugcina sekukhona tingoti
ngiyavakala swangakhuluma ke Joyce sesema ukuthi luthango luvile kunjalo ke phela somvo umsebenzi noma kumkhosi lomkhulu wamaganu utawucala ubekucala bese ke umsebenzi uyachubekela khona ehlane asibahlethe market sisaba sichubekene ehlane Residents of Simunye and surrounding areas are notified that intense TV license door-to-door inspections are being conducted in the region. The exercise starts on the 19th to the 28th of February 2024. Stay alert. Our TV license inspectors will be wearing Eswatini TV gear and will have tags that confirm their identity. Don't be scammed. Our inspectors do not ask for cash payments. Pay your TV license only at specified pay points or call us on 34050163 or 78024545 for more information. Alternatively, you can send a WhatsApp message to 76222000 and we'll chat with you. Pay your TV license today, enhance the industry. Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. This is the news at 7. The Minister of Home Affairs, Honorable Princess Lindiwe, is negotiating with her South African counterparts to increase the operating hours for Lavomisa border gate, possibly to 24 hours, to increase smooth flow of business in an effort to increase trade. The minister said this during a tour of the World Bank with different stakeholders at the Oshuk border gate.
I also want to thank the Border Management Authority and SARS and everyone who contributed to the opening of the 24-hour border operation here in Oshuk. Great achievement for the country, a great achievement for business for both countries, because this is profiting both Eswatini and South Africa. Everyone is happy. I'm sure now revenue has hiked up for both countries. And now that you are done with the 24-hour operation in Oshuk, now our cry is 24-hour operation in Lavomesa. Can we make it happen? Because when business comes in this side, they are stuck. They can't flow to the Natal side. So that frustrates business and also frustrates the tour operators, tourism. They're stuck here, they can't move. Sometimes they divert and go to Mozambique. Even if they want to go to Natal, they divert and go to Mozambique.
The Border Management Authority of South Africa says they are looking into the minister's request.
I mean, there is nothing really that we are disagreeing on. Minister, maybe just to also say, we had some working groups yesterday, and we're basically engaging on the issues, just beyond immigration. We're looking at issues about health, issues about agriculture, for instance, and look at the kind of protocols that we have that doesn't seem to be aligned and things like that. And we're saying, but why do we have these things that are not aligned? You know, if we talk about requirements, how do we make sure that our requirements really talk to each other? You know, at the end of the day, just to make sure that there is that seamless movement of persons as well as goods between our jurisdictions, because it stands as our, you know, as our interest, you know, at the end of the day. So on that basis, we are really very much grateful, and we commit from our side, working together with our colleagues from SARS as well as the Cross-Border Road Transport Agency, which is also here. We are definitely committing that we are not going to be having some just general diplomatic jamborees. We are going to have serious engagement with the view of being practical and being taking decisive decisions within the existing policy framework.
Dr. Masiapato says there are a lot of areas of collaboration between Eswatini and South Africa which need to be explored. For Eswatini TV News, Nelson Dlangamandla with Vuminkosi Nzinisa, Ngwenya.
The United Nations Resident Coordinator George Washira says the UN is committed to supporting Eswatini achieve sustainable development. The UN Resident Coordinator was speaking when reacting to the speech from the throne delivered at the official opening of the first session of the 12th Parliament.
In a press statement on Tuesday, United Nations Resident Coordinator in Eswatini, George Washira, uploaded His Majesty King Mswati III speech from the throne, delivered at the official opening of the first session of the 12th Parliament. He says His Majesty's speech spans several critical issues which are key in improving the welfare of the people and progress of the Kingdom of Eswatini, and demonstrate a resolve to address the concerns raised by citizens at Sibaya last year. Wachira says His Majesty also reaffirmed Eswatini's commitment to global agendas, including the Sustainable Development Goals SDGs and the African Union Agenda 2063. He says the UN notes in particular His Majesty's focus on the need to grow the economy, infrastructure development, particularly in ICT, improving the business environment, especially for SMEs, resolving the challenges hindering access to quality healthcare, tackling youth unemployment through quality education, entrepreneurship, and skills development. He says yet again His Majesty spoke clearly and strongly about ending the scourge of gender-based violence. He says as the government takes up the task of translating into programs and implementing the directives contained in His Majesty's speech, the United Nations remains steadfast in its commitment to support Eswatini's vision of prosperous and sustainable future in line with the objectives of the United Nations Sustainable Development Cooperation Framework for 2021 to 2025. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Samkalsiwe Khosa Mbabane.
The Ministry of Education continues to ensure that schools receive food under the Schools Feeding Program. The Acting Director of Education, Lungelo Nhlengetwa, says before month end, all schools would have received the food.
The Ministry of Education continues to deliver food in schools under the Schools Feeding Program. When schools opened a couple of weeks ago, some schools received the food, though not all. The Acting Director of Education, Lungelo Nhlengetwa, says in no time before month end, schools would have received food.
Close to half of the schools are delivered ukudla. Sibheke ukuthi makuphela February sibe sesiqedile. according to information esiyitholile kulo supplier walelo system phela kudla. Lokhu ngathi khamba kancane lamabhontshisi. Ngiwo la ngasi ayatefa but sesiwatholile sesidakhwala kwafuqa etikolweni. Yes, the nombolo ya both primary and high schools, yes.
Nhlangepa says according to a report he got, schools are receiving the food. It is only beans that they have an issue with where there is shortage, but they will sort that as well soon. He says with understanding that some learners get their first and last meal at school due to poverty, they will ensure food is delivered as soon as possible. Reporting MKNMCB with Samuel Suekoza, Manzini.
EBIS Director Sabelo Dlamini says it is of their best interest to adhere to international standards of broadcasting in order to provide accurate and meaningful information to the nation, which will improve the country as a whole. Dlamini was speaking during the commemoration of International Radio Day yesterday.
Umphefumulo sophilile ebandla sophilile umphefumulo lomhlanje nekuseni.
This year, EBIS took its legendary broadcasters back for a day just to showcase what they used to do during their times as part of commemorating this special day.
Vele kufuna tinto letikhulunywako noma letivelako emsakatweni kube tinto letinebuqiniso netinto letakhako because of understanding ukuthi bumcoka be-radio in most communities.
Sabelo Dlamini, who is the EBIS director, says they are working hard towards reaching international standards of broadcasting.
Nalo kusesiphile esikhatsini lana there are many competing new media platforms. But nesingumsakato sitmisela ukuthi sichubeke sisale singlo msakato lo credible, lot truthful. Not necessarily the first to the news, but the first to truthful and credible news.
Sibusiso Mgadi, who is the UN Communications Officer, says radio can be a mediator for information as per SDG.
The emphasis, Director, will recognize lobumqoka be-radio. Despite all the things that we are calling modernization, technology, and all of that, radio has stood the test of time.
With a baby face, the track keeps falling. You should check out the video. It's quite cute because it features a comedian.
UNESCO reported that over 4 million people in the world listen to radio. Reporting for Eswatini TV, I am Pohuhle Dlamini with Smuva Shongwe in Babane.
The Ministry of Education has introduced a web-based education management information system for schools. This was said by EMIS Information Technology Administrator Mfanukwana Nkambule during a training of schools on the new system.
The primary mandate of the Ministry of Education and Training is to provide access to relevant quality education at all levels to all citizens, taking into account all the issues of efficiency, equity, and special needs. On the same note, the Ministry of Education and Training, through the Education Management Information System Unit, EMIS, is currently training Lubombo region teachers on the new web-based EMIS system. EMIS Information Technology Administrator Mfanukwana Nkambule says this new system is critical to closing existing gaps in education planning frameworks.
System developile nyalo le web-based.
The ministry has introduced a web-based education management information for improved efficiency. The Education Management Information System Unit is used to manually send forms to schools to fill up information on enrollment and other education-based information which delayed other planning processes within the ministry. With this new system, data collection will be timely.
The
trainees will also be given tools to collect education management information, and the Ministry of Education will be training teachers from schools under the Wowo region next week. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Samkal Suekoza with GNMCB Manzini.
The Ministry of Education says no child should be sent home for owing school fees. The Ministry of Education has assembled head teachers under the Manzini region to empower them on education policies.
All schools, including private schools, are expected to adhere and follow the guidelines of the Ministry of Education. The Ministry of Education gathered school principals under the Manzini regions to remind them on policies as well as school guide and reporting channels. The acting director of education, Lungadon Hlengedwa, says the issue of absenteeism of head teachers who come once in a while in school can lead to dismissal.
The policy le bekungiyona ngathi igijima embili le top up. Kule top up sikhuluma indzawo yokuthi uma ngabe isikole sidinga uku-charge top up kufuna ukuthi bathole imvume ku-minister.
He says one important issue is that of policies, including the issue of top-up fees, where head teachers are reminded that they cannot just charge top-up fees anyhow. They're expected to follow the correct guidelines of charging the top-up fees. Also, officers cannot be chased from class for owing school fees.
Education ifanele encourage ukuthishela bafunze because laba bothishela labafunzile la sikolweni even up to PhD.
I have a very major concern kakhulu ekuthoka lapha ka-grades batalise bafe kusigaba angathi noma bagakamile yini bathatha certificate ka-grades
so the days of teacher contracts
He says they belong to the government. Government will eventually pay. The school's principals had questions including the grade 0 class, where some parents are alleged to forge grade 0 certificates. Some say the education system must motivate teachers by adding salary where need be to qualifying teachers with masters and PhDs. The school guides and reporting channels as per the TSC regulation of 1983 section 14 to 18 emphasizes on moral behavior for teachers. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I am Kian Msibi with Samuel Suwekoza at Mfanyana Hall, Manzini.
The Ministry of Health needs to establish a coordinating healthy financing unit for improved healthcare services in the country. This was said by Country Coordinating Mechanism Eswatini Executive Secretary Dr. Advocate Dlamini.
In such a time like this in Eswatini, where the King Mswati III has indicated that there shouldn't be any Liswati that suffers and never get help on time. So we're saying that it's such a moment, that is where we're supposed to sit down, discuss, and analyze in terms of the donor partners or the development partners that we have in the country, not just only CCM or Global Fund. We have many. We've got PEPFAR, we've got World Bank, and many others. If possibly the Minister of Health can possibly make an initiative and just call us under one roof, we sit down and we discuss. Because the pillar number 7 is commanding us to participate in supporting the Minister of Health, to sit down and discuss and say that in all the challenges possibly that we're facing or we're seeing, and its impact to our people in Eswatini this time around, is it possible to develop a new module, a new strategy in terms of how to leverage possible support that is available, if not available, which possibly can be discussed and be forwarded to our donors to say, is there possible that we can work together in this matter and see what to do?
The Registrar of Companies, Msebe Malinga, says the Draft Companies Bill of 2023 is meant to make setting up of businesses easier for all Eswatini, as well as conducting business in the country. The Registrar said this in response to His Majesty King Mswati III's call to make the registration of companies easier by implementing digital solutions.
The bill, the Companies Bill, introduces now an electronic company registration service. So it's a complete registration service now, whereby even the updates of companies will be done electronically. And we wanted to have that in the legal framework, in the legislation, so that we are not just doing it as an improvement, but we are bound by the legal framework to have these services provided to the public or our clients. The bill also introduces what we call a universal company now. Currently, we have two types of companies, private company and a public company. So in trying to simplify again the environment, the business, the doing business environment, we are now introducing a universal company. So there'll be one type of company. Why we're doing that, most often you find that private companies are limited in raising capital and in sourcing funds or capital. So if we have one type of, as opposed to public companies who have the liberty of raising capital, advertising for their shares, and raising capital in all other means that they can afford. We also are introducing what we call a constitution now, a company constitution, as opposed to articles of association, a very difficult component of the companies. And that the articles of association are actually difficult to interpret and to follow as one is doing business. So we're trying to introduce now a constitution in simple English for everyone to understand as they continue to do business and dealing with their companies. Also, the liquidation process has been simplified in the bill.
In international news, the U.S. Senate approved a $95 billion aid package to Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan early Tuesday. But as VOA's congressional correspondent Catherine Gibson reports, the bill faces a tough path to passage in the Republican-majority U.S. House of Representatives.
A crucial moment for $60 billion in aid to Ukraine, $14 billion in aid to Israel, and billions for Indo-Pacific countries confronting China as the U.S. Senate passed a major foreign aid bill Tuesday. President Joe Biden called on the Republican-majority U.S. House of Representatives to consider the bill.
By calling the Speaker to let the full House speak its mind and not allow a minority of most extreme voices in the House to block this bill even from being voted on.
Speaker of the House Mike Johnson said Monday the House would not take up that vote without changes to the U.S. immigration system. A tentative $118 billion bipartisan agreement that included some border security measures collapsed last week after former President Donald Trump encouraged Republicans to vote against sending more aid to Ukraine.
But let's say we give all this money. We were already into Ukraine for over $200 billion. And they could make a deal with Russia in the next 3 weeks, and all of a sudden they don't want to deal with us anymore.
Democrats hailed passage of the foreign aid bill as a key moment in American leadership in global crises.
One of the most historic and consequential bills passed the Senate, a bill that so greatly impacts not just our national security, not just the security of our allies, but also the security of Western democracy as we know it.
Republican lawmakers are divided over sending more aid to Ukraine, arguing the money is better spent on domestic security.
What we asked for is, as long as the administration had a high priority of supplying another 60 plus billion to Ukraine to help Ukraine secure its border, we thought maybe, just maybe, we could use that as leverage to force this administration to secure our border.
But 22 Republicans, led by Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, voted with Democrats, saying the stakes for U.S. national security were too high to ignore.
Our allies and partners are hoping that the indispensable nation, the leader of the free world, has the resolve to continue. And our adversaries are hoping for something quite different.
The U.S. sent the last round of aid to Ukraine on December 27th. An analyst tells VOA the delays embolden Russia.
For Putin, this is something of a triumph, and it makes Russia look like it's on the winning side of the trajectory, and it makes Ukraine look like it's, at the very least, sort of stuck or stalemated in the war.
House lawmakers are in session for 3 days this week before leaving town until early March.
Jordan's King Abdullah II, the first Arab leader to visit the White House since October 7th, met with President Joe Biden to discuss a hostage deal and the future of Gaza as Israel began operations on Monday in the southern Gaza city of Rafah. Viewer discretion is advised.
Scenes from the southern Gaza city of Rafah, which Israeli forces struck early Monday, rescuing 2 hostages held since Hamas's October 7th attack on Israel, killing at least 67 people and wounding countless others. About 1.5 million Palestinians are sheltering in the city, whose population has grown nearly fivefold since the start of the war. President Joe Biden and Jordan's King Abdullah II agreed Monday to continue to push for the release of hostages and the flow of humanitarian aid into Gaza. But their stances on the Rafah operation differed, with Biden repeating his weekend warning to Israel's prime minister.
The major military operation in Rafah should not proceed without a credible plan for ensuring the safety and support of more than 1 million people sheltering there. They need to be protected. And we've also been clear from the start. We oppose any forced displacement of Palestinians from Gaza.
Abdullah, however, was more blunt.
We cannot afford an Israeli attack on Rafah. It is certain to produce another humanitarian catastrophe. We need a lasting ceasefire now. This war must end.
However, on Sunday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said, those who say that under no circumstances should we enter Rafah are basically saying, lose the war. Since the conflict started, Biden has gone from supporting Israel to questioning its moves. Last week, he described Israel's military response in Gaza as over the top. But the White House has pushed back against a ceasefire, speaking instead on Monday of a hostage deal that would lead to at least a 6-week pause in fighting.
A humanitarian pause, an extended pause, that longer than what we saw back in November of a week, that would allow us to get all the hostages out, get more aid and assistance in, and then hopefully lead to discussions that could get us closer to an end to the conflict.
Humanitarian officials say this new phase of the conflict in Rafah is terrifying.
An extremely high number of civilians, mostly women and children, will likely be killed or injured. We have warned against actions violating the laws of war. The prospect of such an operation into Rafah risks further atrocity crimes. The world must not allow this to happen.
Hamas, the U.S.-designated terror group, launched the October 7th attack on Israel that killed 1,200 people and led to the current war. The group has described operations in Rafah as a genocide. Meanwhile, for the people of Gaza, no end in sight to the suffering.
Hundreds of families have been forced to flee their homes in Haiti's capital, Port-au-Prince, after their neighborhood was attacked by gangs. Haiti has faced spiraling violence and protest amid a political crisis that has seen the country go without a president since the murder of former leader Jovenel Moïse in 2021.
Walking to the closest place that could be safe for them. These residents of Port-au-Prince had to flee their homes after their neighborhoods were attacked by gangs. Their goal, reaching the closest police station.
Criminals entered our neighborhoods at 3 in the morning and started shooting at us. Not even the children were spared. Criminals have kidnapped people. We were forced to take refuge here because we have nowhere else to go.
We left by foot. The criminals forced us to flee. Last time, they looted our houses. They were back today. We were forced to leave and seek shelter. They controlled the whole area.
With just their bare hands to take everything they could, many carried their children away from the violence, but some could not even save all of them.
We're on the street with nothing in our arms but our babies. We do not know where to go. I had to leave our other children behind and don't know if anyone is going to look after them.
Haiti has faced spiraling violence, and protests have called for the prime minister to step down and for elections to take place. The UN says that violence has surged More than 800 people not involved in gangs were killed, injured, or kidnapped in January. That's 3 times more than last year. Disruptions have hampered the delivery of humanitarian aid in a country where 44% of the population is food insecure.
A protest march called on Tuesday against Senegalese President Macky Sall's controversial move to delay this month's presidential poll to December has been postponed after authorities banned it, citing concerns over traffic disruption, organizers said.
Outside the Maison de la Presse in Dakar, these journalists say it's becoming harder to do their job as they spare a thought for their colleague Absa Han, reportedly beaten by police during last Friday's protests.
What happened to Absa, the journalist who was attacked, really affected me because it could have been me or a close friend. The police are supposed to protect us. They should at least be able to tell the difference between a journalist and a protester.
Senegal is in crisis after President Macky Sall pushed back the election from the 25th of February to December. The last-minute change was a shock for a country known for its stable democracy. 3 people were killed as protests were suppressed by security forces 4 days ago. A peaceful demonstration was organized for Tuesday by a collective of civil society groups, but was postponed after being outlawed by the authorities, who cited traffic concerns. The opposition accuses Sall of fiddling with the calendar in an attempt to avoid the defeat of his party. On Monday, 2 former presidents, Abdou Diouf and Abdoulaye Wade, demanded that Sall open talks with civil society as soon as possible to maintain a transparent and indisputable election.
Now, sports news. Eswatini Hockey Association has introduced junior national teams on both males and females. This past weekend, the under-19 national teams continued with their training ahead of the regional competition in Johannesburg, South Africa in April this year.
Eswatini Hockey Federation ran a successful meeting a couple of weeks ago, trying to restore national teams, especially at junior levels. This past weekend, the association began preparations of the under-19, both boys and girls, with head coach Luxon Skisa sharing the update on the readiness of the team that will be competing in Johannesburg come April this year.
This training is just preparation for our under-19 Eswatini national team. So this is our first trial. So we're expecting that we will have more players as we move on. But today, it's not bad. It's a good turn-up for the first session for 2024.
Lisha Lovely and Rory Thompson, who are some of the players amongst the under-19 squads, are sharing their experiences so far.
The surface is quite easy to play on because the ball doesn't bounce like it does here and all the holes in the grass. But it's just difficult because you're not used to dragging and hitting it. Like there's a specific pass that you do, which you don't practice. But otherwise, it's quite nice. And it's a very nice experience.
It's tough. It's definitely tough out here, the heat. Yeah, but it's good. Really good for you. And 2 hours, 30 minutes of training, it's pretty good.
The journey seems to be a promising one, with the next move being a recruitment of more players in the other regions of the country. For Eswatini TV Sports, Hobesu Msonera with Linda Lamini, Markens.
It's 7:30. Thank you for staying with us. Let's take a break. We shall resume shortly.
Renewal of TV licenses for 2024 is now open. Here is a quick reminder. A viewer's TV license costs 180 emalangeni per device. Other accessories such as decoders and set-top box cost 50 emalangeni per device. For traders and repairers, TV license costs 300 emalangeni per business area. And now, to pay your TV license, use these following methods. You can use MTN Mobile Money with the number 762222000 or dial *007 *3 *7#. Or you can use Eswatini Imali. And you can pay our TV license at any post office in the country. Another option is you can use any Nedbank branch using our TV license account number 119900430037. Don't forget, when paying for your viewer's TV license, reference with your PIN at all times. And when paying for a retailer TV license, reference with your TIN at all times. For more information, call us on 7802-4543 or 34050163 or 34020879. And you can send us a WhatsApp message on 762222000.
Be sure to catch Business Watch every Wednesday between 2 p.m. to 3 p.m., where we feature the latest updates on business news, market trends, and exclusive interviews with industry leaders, as well as insights on emerging small and medium enterprises in the commercial sector. Business Watch, your business leader.
It's 32 minutes after 7 asiphinze sinamukele lihlelweni bonkhosi sinetivakashikela leqhamuka University of Botswana beteke ngemsebenzi we-recruitment drive kuthola nje bantfana ke bemaswati labafise kuyafundza khona eBotswana. But to further this conversation, we have in studio Modiri Molotsi, who is the Assistant Director under the admission side of the University of Botswana. Welcome to the program and welcome to Eswatini, Mr. Molotsi. How are you this morning?
Thank you very much. I'm grateful for you to hosting me here.
Awesome. Let's talk about it. You're in Eswatini. I know I have a lot of friends that go to the University of Botswana. In fact, one of my closest friends just left for the university recently, so I won't be having my friend now, and that's sad on my part. But it's very important. He's acquiring an education outside of Eswatini, and it's going to help him once he taps into his professional life. As you do your recruitment drive in Eswatini, where will you be, and what it is that you are telling Eswati?
Okay, thank you very much for that. We have spotted to be in Babane, the mall today. That is today and tomorrow. That is where we'll be starting off, and we'll be there from 10 a.m. up to 6 p.m. 6 p.m. to cater for those who are knocking off, of course. The recruitment drive is basically looking for partnership with those who can be students at our university. And I would say it's 14 and 15. Then on the 16th and the 17th, we'll be in Manzini. That is the lifestyle center. Lifestyle center, yeah, if I remember. Yes, that is where we'll be. And we'll be doing the same thing, that is starting from 10 to 6.
So you're starting today, which is Valentine's Day, the 14th of February. You're in Babane still tomorrow, the 15th of February. On the 16th, is that when you go to Manzini?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. I want to, understand what you will be telling these aspiring University of Botswana students that are in Eswatini in terms of, the courses that you have in Botswana. In fact, if someone is not going to be able to make it there tomorrow, perhaps you can give them the motivation to try by all means to make it the following day, but by maybe, telling them what it is that they want to study there.
Yes, basically before I start, maybe I would say Botswana, Lesotho, Swaziland, we have been one item ever since. Now it is easier for us to be in here to market our product because we know we are one item, Swaziland and Lesotho. Lucky for them, Valentine, we love Swaziland. We are celebrating Valentine with them. So they should come to our stall and see all our programs. We have realized that in the past few years, the trend shows that we have got a lot of people coming from Eswatini to University of Botswana. Hence, now we have to show them that we are with them. We know what they love our university. So even if you are not able to manage to see us today, you can come tomorrow. But of course, our programs are accessible through University of Botswana, www.ub.bw. But today we are just here to now clarify further for those who feel now face-to-face is better.
Yeah, and you know, Manzini and Babane is not so far apart. It's only like, what, 35 kilometers if you use the main road number 3. So even if you're in Babane and you're busy today and the next day, you can still go to Manzini and, you know, learn more about what it is that you're offering. I was still inquiring about some of the courses and maybe, you know, some of the leading courses that students have an interest in.
So you mean in terms of
the courses that you offer?
Okay. Yeah. Let me start off by, there is a program which we have realized it has got a good trend with Eswatini students, industrial design. So design and technology also. We have realized that majority of the students in that program are from Eswatini. So that program, we are now trying to craft it in such a way that it will accommodate their needs now. So a lot of programs are there which I know they will be of interest to Eswatini students. For example, we have got the teaching courses. Majority of the students there, they are from Eswatini. Now, if, for example, you missed here and you can go to Mbabane, like you are saying, we are going to be saying the same thing, of course. I wanted to maybe quickly go through most programs which are liked by these people. And we have science programs, we have got education programs, we have got business programs. Those programs are highly liked by the Eswatini, so we will be elaborating further on those when at our stalls. That is at the mall and in Manzini.
I love it so much. Science, industrial design, and business. We certainly need more students that are qualified in those fields as we, you know, look into developing our country economically. Thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Modiri Moloti. We hope that you'll stay even for Bukano ceremony this weekend.
I'm going to do that definitely because I think I'm starting to like the culture of Eswatini.
Awesome. Certainly see that, Buhleni. It was Modiri Moloti from the University of Botswana. He is the Assistant Director there under their admission department, just telling us about their recruitment drive, which starts officially today and will be going on for the next 4 days. We do encourage Maswati ukuthi ahambe ayoba kabandi ngayo ke recruitment drive atawukhona ukuthi nangabe anaso sifiso sekuyafunza khona eBotswana akhona ukuthi asheshe ade ukuthi kufuna ahambe DP Tingona. Sibahleli market masinyane. We speak to Dr. Sandile Nxumalo. He is a general practitioner under Lina Mandla Medical Center regarding non-communicable diseases. Don't go anywhere.
I'm a very, 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 very happy customer.
I know.
Imali ebhizinisi ayidlika wayidla utolala phansi.
Hayi ngimsebenzi yethu lesindako la ekhaya njengoba niyibona limihle nakangaka.
Ngiyagolosha, which is crocheting.
Ngiyakhicita ke noko kakhulu emsebenzini wethu ikhumba.
Ngenda kodaba emacici nokodaba entsanyeni.
Ngilungisa emagedlela.
Hello, how are you? We are selling peanuts at 5. Thank you so much. Umdala kubusi. On the strat, baby.
Ujala masada mahle kunakho lesa.
Sabatandi ukuthi njengalokhu
Sifile sive sikhulume.
Welcome back to the program. Eswatini has a high burden of communicable and non-communicable diseases, with the latter making up to 46% of deaths in 2019. Eswatini had 199,947 people receiving antiretroviral therapy in 2021 and has made strong progress towards achieving the 95-95-95 goals for HIV and then reaching 93, 98, 98 in 2021. Eswatini has not yet met the 90% target coverage rates for vaccination in children, only reaching 77% with the third dose of DTP containing vaccine and 80% with the first dose of measles containing vaccine in 2021. So Livela Kangwane should consider implementing catch-up strategies for vaccination. Let's welcome Dr. Sandile Nxumalo. He's from Linamandla Medical Center, Kulumisa Yona Inzaba Yema NCDs Gaband. Welcome to the program, Guni. Engabe kuqala le conversation nangumbukelo sekhaya ingcenye lova ngasilesingisa setulu ngoba vele nasikhuluma indvodza etempilo khanza usilelwimi selisebenzisa le medical jargon kakhulu. Ngabe sisuka sikhuluma ngani nasithi non-communicable diseases?
Okay, siyabonga Mngweni, siyabonga kusimukela ehlelweni. Nasikhuluma ngema non-communicable diseases, sivamisa ku abbreviator sithi NCDs.
Right.
So sisuka sikhuluma ngale tifo letingathathelwana. Okay. So there's no transmission, akusho ukuthi na usonzela cenge kwemuvu na udabe siyasitfola njengesifo lebesikhona nje se COVID. Akufanani kanjalo. Nawo naso sifo sakho ngendlela lesi develop ngakhona la kuwe. Dokhanza ukuthi kuba nguwe kuphela nje kuleyo group. Yeah.
Maybe we can cite examples of NCDs.
Okay, my NCDs, yes. My NCDs maningi. Njengoba sathi ukuthi tifo leti kanjalo tiningi kakhulu. Leti ngathathelwana. So ngicabanga ukuthi ngebuningi bawo bese sesibuka la family kakhulu.
Okay.
Yes, so lavamisile nje nalesiwabuka kakhulu Eswatini ku tifo letiphathelana inhlitiyo nekhamba kwengati emtimbeni. It's my cardiovascular diseases.
Right.
So that includes hypertension, that includes maybe stroke. Bese sekuba nabo diabetes. Bese kuba na asthma, some diseases that affect maybe respiratory tract. Bese kuba na diseases like cancer.
Yeah. Inhlangano yakamhlaba etempilo Mnguni August 2023 Kokai report ba highlighter la kuqaleni something really concerning lensana ngifoni zabe ukuthi Eswatini has a high burden of NCDs, and maybe that concern, I'm sure it's for all of us. Kuveta nje ukuthi what are some of the common causes for these NCDs and how can we prevent them? Sisile semaswati.
Ngiyabonga. So I concern lekhona noma ke engiqale ngokuthi ama causes ukuthi ama NCDs abanga kunema risk factors la khona. Okay, ukuthi Eswatini nje nakuyatiwa ukuthi 90% of the population banawo lama risk develop ama NCDs. Yeah. So ama risk factors leswatiko khona la lesithi modifiable lamanye ma non modifiable. The modifiable ones lama factors lawa la khona ukuchinjeka ukuthi ungakhona ukuchinja indlela lo wenda ngayo timfu. So that's the likes of a lifestyle yakho. If you are a smoker, you are increasing the risks of developing NCDs.
Right.
Yes. If you consume alcohol, harmful consumption,
also,
will increase your risk here to develop NCDs. If you are physically inactive, nalapha NCDs you are risk ukuthi ebikhona. Nekudla kabi ke kakhulu because timvo lesifaka la mtimbeni ngito leti khanza ukuthi tibanga letifo ukuthi lokho akadzingeki ngalendlela lokuthatha ngakhona. Bese ke sekuya increase that risk.
And what I'm picking here is most of the causes are some of the lifestyle choices that have been I would say taught to us since our tender ages. I mean, smoking even has the disclaimer on the box that smoking tobacco may have, bad effects on your lungs and whatever, and that relates to, your cardiovascular health.
Sure.
Kugijima, it does help with your cardiovascular health. Kujima nje empeleni. Since by excessive drinking. If we look at the lifestyle yesive semaswati over the years, with so much being said at Senini, if you do not comply to nakbetempilo labas you ought, or rather you stand the risk of kugula, and we have the high burden. I think for me that's telling us our lifestyle choices is getting worse, maybe by the years. Is that so?
Yes. Ngicabanga ukuthi nasibuka nje ukuthi indlela lebekuphilwa ngayo kadzeni noma ke before about 2000s, it was very, very different from now. Yes. we go out, youth goes out, does a lot of partying and a lot of drinking and a lot of smoking. The way we eat, we have a lot of fast food now, which is not healthy. But especially if you take that every day. So that lifestyle, we don't even exercise, although people are encouraged. Which is good for their health. But as we see, though the changes in lifestyle in Eswatini, we need to do a lot to encourage. We need to do a lot of teaching, a lot of raising awareness. If we do not change these modifiable factors, MR risks of developing NCDs are gone.
It's quite concerning. I just heard recently that Eswatini is ranked as probably the top-ranking country in terms of alcohol consumption, and we're just leading in the wrong categories.
Right.
And it's very concerning.
Right.
But anyway, bemaphoyisa bazama ukusibambisa emigwaqweni nananibetempilo niyabatshela abantu ukuthi kunganibangela ukugula lokunjani nabo kidney failure. I do believe ukuthi babangwa ngito leti but khona inzaba like sinzako World Health Organization inzaba yabo measles, do those still fall under NCDs?
Not necessarily, because the NCDs akusema infectious diseases.
Okay.
Nasikhuluma about measles, sema infections law.
Right.
Yes, lawa diseases that cannot be transmitted or spread.
So
and
these
they
are
not
communicable. Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. Ngiyafuna ke singene kancane la kubo measles nakhona kancane nje sinzaba yabo vaccination, because uthi World Health Organization as a recommendation on this report, we may want to enforce or rather catch up inzaba yema vaccination strategies. Ngabe kulolo hlangothi lolo kufuna ukuthi sisebenze kangakanani, and how big is the problem there?
Okay, so far in endzabeni yabo measles, because leto tifo leti gomelwako nabumfana asakhula.
Yes.
So far kugoma has been decentralized. Kuma clinics kuyendiwa umfana nakakhula uyamikiswa nje na basho ukuthi at this age kumele etotogomela na tifo nati. So far bekusehamba kahle lelo hlangothi lelo. Although of course khona ema exceptions ukuthi loku kuletinye tindzawo maybe labanye bava khona kufinyelela kahle kuma facilities, but noma ke kube bede the drugs or the vaccines, but nje akusiyo inkinga lekhulunywako, which means yimvo lesachubeka kahle le vaccinate.
Cancer and diabetes, those are still under NCDs.
Yes.
Just recently we saw you guys with the Ministry of Health had a drive. We was it free cervical cancer screening?
Sure.
I do believe. And we did have Kusile, who is an epidemiologist, just giving us an overview of where we are in terms of cervical cancer in the land. But maybe to double on that conversation, cancer and diabetes as non-communicable diseases, big problems. Even World Health Organization, acknowledges that kuthi lapha kangwane sine high burden kulototi inhlangothi leto. Engabe, what would you like to say kumbukeli ekhaya ekuthenini angathi positiona kanjani empilweni ukuthi angathi khanzi ane diabetes nayo i-cancer?
Okay. So kwecala nje ngicela ngikubonga ukuthi sibe nayo le campaign leyo. We raised the awareness, but Sita as a Minister of Health, we would like to honor that. They came, they gave us a lot of support. Sabona, I think over the 4 days that we had the screening, Sabona about 70 patients.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, we did MR test.
That was during the week.
Yes, that was during the week. We started on the 24th, which was a Wednesday, and then went all the way to Saturday, 27th. Sibonga kakhulu kuba Ministry of Health kusibambisa because we are a private facility, but they came through because it's not about what is there's private and public. It's about emaswati. Nekuthi nje, although it's private sector, but we made it free. Ukuthi everyone have access. Everyone are totally sitaga. So siyendile le cervical cancer screening. The goal behind that was to screen. Ku screen ukuthi noma umuntu akeva lutho, noma umuntu akagula. Ato check nje ukuthi kude yini lokusolisako. Lokukhona ngecancer ukuthi kufuna sisheshe siyibone. Yeah, so pre-cancerous lesions ayabonakala. The bad thing is that you don't feel anything. You may not feel any pain, you may not see anything at all. Yet there is something growing in the women.
That is very scary. Early detection, I think, is something vele niyigcizelelako ni sabukatona tinzaba the cancer before it metastasizes into something losotayibona, and that's probably too late to even treat it, and that is very, very concerning. Engabe ungakhona yini kusihlebela, maybe without disclosing people's names, of course. You said below 4 days you got 70 plus people, maybe 72. I'm not too sure. What did you find there?
All right. So, of course, I will not mention names, but labanengi my patients lebeswabona bokhanza ukuthi konke kusese kahle. Bajabule futhi ukuthi sebayadi ukuthi there is nothing to worry about at the moment. Of course, we cannot get 100% negative. There were other patients, a few of them, they had positive results. The good thing cancer the pre-cancerous lesions are connect treated at the same time. So we treated some people. I think we did 4 of them, and then we had to do my pap smears, send the specimens to the lab, and lamanengi akhona buya are negative. So what's the indlela tekuyibona le cancer ukuthi khona yini le solisako or khona yini ama suspicious signs labonakalako. Diningi letindlela lokumikisa laboratories for a certain group of women. Laba postmenopausal, we have to take their specimen to the lab. Stobona kahle ukuthi kude yini lokudevelop. So fortunately, most of them came back negative, and they know that now, and they are happy. So we still encourage ukuthi every year bayendele screening. Noma ke nangabe kukhona loku bonakalako noma labakuvako loku abnormal lokungajwayeleki.
Yeah. And I suppose mnguni kulolo hlangothi lolo niphinze nabafundzisa ekuthenini ngoba there's this lifestyle choices that you can still make, you know, to further protect yourself ekuthenini ungayitholi i-cancer, cervical cancer to be specific, as well as, you know, the other cancers. I want us to talk briefly about diabetes as well as NCD in Eswatini. There's quite a concern there as well. Engabe simephi silivela kangwane, maybe recommend some lifestyle choices.
Sure. Okay, so go onke lama NCDs lawo. Njengoba ngishite ekuqaleni ukuthi kuma risk factors we have non-modifiable and modifiable. I mentioned lama modifiable factors. The non-modifiable ones is age, gender, race maybe. But modifiable factors, that's where we can change things, because you cannot change predisposed to a disease because of your age. You can't change that, but you can change your lifestyle. If you smoke, we encourage you to stop smoking. If you drink excessively, cut down or stop. If you are physically inactive, exercise. We teach those things. Eat a healthy diet. Eat a healthy.
You know, healthy diet is big on diabetes in particular.
Okay, with not just diabetes, maybe even hypertension, because hypertension and diabetes coexist. Usually, most people have both. And you find that the risk factors in the lifestyle choices that they make.
It's quite concerning for me in Zaba Yelkwai ngoba you guys always come here when you sit right next to me and I ask about my lifestyle choices nitsi lokubhema abakuyekele at all, but yet there's an industry why. Anyway, maybe that's not a question I should pose to you, but it's just a fair frustration at Tsenini. Why is there an industry that sells cigarettes if they will do this to Ban, and it's even written there and people still go there to buy it? And maybe one doesn't want to judge people, but why do you want to smoke a cigarette for the first time with that disclaimer written there? But anyway, Mguni, sisaqhubeka kunenzaba lana uthi World Health Organization livela ngwana selinayo a national NCD policy, but in the implementation of other NCD related progress indicators, there's still a bit of a gap there. Engabe, how exciting is it for us to have this NCD policy? I know legislation and regulation is very important. It helps in many ways. Maybe I think there it's an opportunity for us to even applaud government at Seneni Ashaktele policies.
All right, thank you. The NCD policy, ikona, although maybe it's still growing,
right.
Yeah, because it's been introduced. So I think the importance we curb the rate at which this disease is developed. Everyone ends up having NCDs. The aim to minimize the rate at which NCDs are khula ngakhona. Nangabe kuyendeka kusheshe kubonakala kungaze kufike kuma stages where it's now complicated. I think that's the platform where we gather the information, we gather the data from all the facilities, public and private, and then we know how many people, an estimate of course, how many people are most likely having NCDs currently, and what do we want to do about that. Yeah, so it's a very tough exercise, I should say, because sometimes you have to encourage people who don't really care about how do they feel, what's going to happen. People smoke, it's a habit that you grow into, a bad habit of course, but you grow into it and you can't just tell a person you stop smoking today and then you stop. It has to take some time, okay? So yet all we encourage don't even try because it poses a great risk.
Yeah, and I see how challenging of an activity it is, or rather of an assignment it is for the medical practitioners, or rather the medical sector as a whole in Zaba Yama NCDs, mostly because a lot of them, like you have said, Mguni Gutsi, akuqala ungaboni kusekakhona, so kulukhuni ukuthi umuntu angathi nje akayisibhedlela uyahlola. It's like unasithi abantu abayihlola simo sengadi at least twice kuba lukhuni ukuthi umuntu athi utawusukuma kwenda lokho, with all of this as well. But siyabonga ukuthi sibone nje HPV vaccination drive yendeka ukuthi kunemisebenzi esevele ichube. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. Sithemba ukuthi amaswati akuthethe konke lobafundzise kona Mnguni. Kunatha tshwala, kubhema lugwayi, konke nje kujima kumcoka bekunene kudla nokubalance konke kumcoka. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll go for a night break, Mnguni. I will wrap up the show with you.
All right, thank you very much.
Awesome.
It's 8 o'clock, says Shailes Katsefulo Mhla ekuseni nani sesema ukuthi nikufokotele kuba nathi. We'll see you tomorrow. Nisale kahle.